Welcome to BTS Wings FF's disclaimer. This is the complete work of fan fiction. Go stop. Jungkook was going downstairs after getting ready when Wyan called him from behind as she went downstairs behind him to reach on time. Relax and take a deep breath, he mumbled worriedly to see Wyan out of breath. She complied and obeyed him silently with a soft smile as she did what he told her to do. Now tell me what happened, kitten. Once hear him, I was missing my parents. She pouts and he raises a brow. Oh, my baby, he called. So what can I do in your service, ma'am? He pinched her cheeks carefully and one huffs in annoyance. Jungkook, she whined. I want to see my parents. Can you please drop me there? She murmurs, fidgeting with her fingers, and Jungkook narrowed his eyes on her words. Because he knew Wayne didn't have a good relationship with her parents in past, as his face hardened. Why? Did they want something from you? He asks, coldly. And when just closed her eyes, finding anger in his voice. I just miss them, she spoke softly in lower voice, and his dark eyes softened as well. He knows Gwen is a soft-hearted girl, and even though she didn't have a good relationship with them in the past, she still wanted to meet them. And it was a total indication of her selflessness, love, and humbleness. He sighs, knowing she must be missing them. As your wish, sweetheart, but please be careful, Gwen's smiles widened, hearing his words, as she immediately hugged him with enthusiasm, taking him by surprise of her action. But a wave of satisfaction also rushed in his body to see her happy by this tiny act. I will, don't worry. One looks up still in his embrace and his chin lightly. He blushed slightly, which she didn't fail to notice. God, he was totally whipped. This girl had literally wrapped him around her little finger, and she didn't have idea about it yet, Jungkook thinks in his mind. You know, you're so cute, he smiles, but before he leans down to respond her with his bodyguard and consigliere interrupted their moment, forcing him to maintain a cold and stern look. When tried to take a step away, but his hold on her waist tightens, telling her to stay. Sir, we're getting late. Your meeting is in half an hour. Jack nods. Okay, wait for me outside. I shall be there in a minute. They nods in a monotone and left immediately, while Jungkook turns towards Ryan. They ruin our moment. He pouts, making a cute face, and then leans down and brushed his nose with hers. She giggles on his words. Don't be dramatic, Koo. He just nods, leaving some butterfly from her jaw to neck. When you wanna go there? Let me get ready. To be precise, after an hour, he nods in approval. Okay, I'll tell chauffeur to drop you. Text me after we reach there. Okay, my possessive husband, she teased, and he chuckled slightly before leaving. Of course, it's my right to be possessive for my beautiful wife, he husked, and blush rose to her cheeks. Mal looked towards the house in front of her, the house who have a lot of her memories. Most of them were bad memories, but she still has spent a great time of her life there. As she took a deep breath to calm her nerves before entering inside. Wyan, my love, how are you? She greets Wyan with a happy smile. One smiles wildly to finally see her mother happy, in a good mood, because really her mother is always unhappy, annoyed, or angry at her. I'm good, Mom. How have you been? She asked with a wide smile on her lips. I'm good too, my dear daughter. Let's sit and talk. One nods and follow her behind. Few minutes passed already, and one was feeling so happy to be back in her old house and to talk with her mother. That's what she always wants, to have a quality time and conversation with her mother. When parents were divorced, though she have tell her mom to invite her dad as well today, but she didn't come, which slightly make one unhappy, but she was still glad to talk with her mom. I will arrange lunch for us. Go and check your old room. One beamed in happiness and immediately got up to see her old room. When I opened her room and took a brief look of everything before entering, her bed was still the same. The few things wasn't there anymore, which was close to her heart once, but after recalling some old memories, she came back downstairs. Where is my deck and my whole band collection? Her mother scoffs in disbelief. Those useless and banned posters, I throw them away, and that desk is solid because I need money. One face slightly paled, but she didn't let it ruin her mood. Do you need any help in kitchen? No, just go out. We have guests. Meet with him and talk with him nicely. She warned in a serious tone. Something alerted in the back of one's mind, but she ignored it and nods. Her mother's behavior was changing to her usual self, and as much as Wen don't want to let it affect her mood, it was disturbing her. Wen went back to the living room only to see a man sitting there in a suit. She frowns to see the stranger, who smirks evilly to see her, which was more like he was checking her out, when slightly cringed in alert as she felt his gaze uncomfortable. I'm John. It's really nice to finally meet you. He extended his hand, whom Owen gestured for a few seconds, not knowing how to respond. Surely his presence was creeping Owen, but still, to act polite, she held his hand. But that was her big mistake, because when she tried to take it away, that creep held her hand firmly. One forcefully take it away, slightly hissing, and he chuckles. You're more beautiful in person. He tried to touch one's face, and in reflex, she immediately take a step backward. Please, live in your limits, Mr. John, he chuckles. Oh, fishy, he chuckles, and one shake her head in disbelief. Lunch is ready, one's mother announced, and one left for a dining table immediately. One sat next to Mr. John, he smirks, and one narrowed her eyes towards her mother, but complying after a few seconds, she said there. Anyways. This is not much, but please enjoy both of you. Her mother beamed with a hint of sadness. One slightly felt bad for her mother and mentally not to help her later. Just a few minutes passed and one felt that creep's hand on her. A shiver of discomfort ran down her spine as she immediately turned towards him and pulled his hand away with full force and get up from her seat. What the? You think you're doing? You're a creep, she hissed angrily, and his mask of being a good person also vanished, and his expression turned into evil one. It's not a good way to talk with your future husband. One eyes widened in shock as she looked towards her mother and then towards him. Husband. Of course, we're getting married, one scoffs. Husband, and marrying you in your dreams. She scoffs and raised her hand to show him her ring finger. Look at this, you creep, I'm already married. Don't mind her, Mr. John. She don't have knowledge of good and bad. But don't worry, soon she could divorce him and marry you instead. Her mother interrupted and went back here stand in alert, hearing her mother's words. Was this the main reason of her politeness and when she invited her in home after months? Of course, that makes sense now. Why she wanna see her after not meeting for ages? One wants to cry badly and shout on everyone on her helplessness and frustration, but she held back herself. This was the least thing she had expected from her so-called mother. Mom, are you listening yourself? She heard herself speaking, while her so-called mother glared at her. Just shut your mouth and sit back here quietly. Don't even know what is all right and wrong for you. And yeah, you are divorcing that pathetic soon ex-husband of yours and marrying Mr. John for your own good, she hissed, the mask of being good long gone. Good. You confirmed. I would like to spend a long time with my future wife. Of course, she says, and John tried to hold one's hand, but anger bubbled up in one's body. All one will never for her and will accept everything quietly. Her mother once, but this new one who was Jungkook's wife will never accept any humiliation and disrespect, especially from a man. As she gritted her teeth and tried to free her hand from him, but instead of leaving, he held her arm with fierce, tight grip. Some tears sprinkled down her eyes due to extreme pain, but she don't let her guards down and freed her hand from him with all her force, and the next thing she knew is she slapped him hard on his face. What the? You really need to learn a lesson. He tried to, don't you, to take a step further. if you want to live, because I assured you my husband John Jungkook will. You, before you even took second breath. John's eyes widened, reading the familiar name. Jungkook was included in most feared and ruthless mafia of country. Whole nation was under him. And she was right. He can do what she was saying. You're Jungkook's wife. Yes, I am. Now save your and get out of here. John didn't take another second and left from there. But before Wine taken a chance to take breath in relief, a harsh grip on her hairs make her yelp in You're just like your father, completely useless. Do you have any idea how many times I begged him to marry you? He was about to give me 100 million in exchange of you. But look what you did. You pathetic girl. One's heart broke into a million pieces as some tears broke down from her eyes listening her mother's words. After finding how her own mother will go to this extent just for money, one want to ask why she did this, but the physical was more brutal. Mom, you're hurting me. She yells in pain with sobs when tried to let go of her and she even succeed, but this psycho husband of yours, how could he fell for a pathetic trash? She chuckles feebly. Who knows if he even loves you or not, or how many girls he have other than you? When her heart stops, and for a moment her mind went completely blank as she became numb, and in that moment her mother grabbed her arm in and twisted her arm as she pulls her down. You're strong, baby, more stronger than you think, and never forgets I love you more than anything, and you're the most important person for me. Jungkook's voice ringed in one's mind. Her mother was literally her at this point. Her mother's grip loosened and she took a step to take something, and that was enough for Wine to act accordingly. She immediately got up while her body was edging numerous and all over her, but she couraged herself to. No matter it was her mother in front of her, if she wanna see her alive, she need to fight, and she really did. As she hauled the nearest waist, because her attention was on the other side, she didn't realize, and then Wine hear her, and the next thing she fell down and sobs were ran away from there. As soon as Wine reached home, Operator Jungkook rushed towards her as his eyes widened to see her in this condition, worry and anger visible on his face. How happy was she before going, and how she looks now broken. Taking a deep breath, she let her weight on him as he held her protectively in his arms. One breath was uneven. He was speaking something, but Ren was not in condition to process what was he saying or maybe asking. She can see his lips moving, but not even a single word reached to her brain. Soon her vision became blurry as she passed out. How this started. Wen just looks down without speaking anything. She just got to know she was passed out for a few words now. She sighs and laid her head on his shoulder. Wen, you're making me worried now, baby. Please speak something. She can hear his worry and a hint of panic in his voice. Relax, I'm okay. She slightly stepped away to see him, only to find him worry for her warmness bloom in her stomach. Do you love me, Koo? Her sudden question take him off guard. Is it even a question, baby? Of course I love you more than anything in words. When smiles almost when her lips curve upward, it wasn't a question. She knew it more than anyone, but maybe she wanted to hear it after what her mother says earlier. Or more like tried to manipulate her. Do you want to explain? He murmured politely, taking the first aid as he placed in front of her. And took a deep breath. She need to let go. Not like he won't found everything himself till now. I was mom. She explains everything, and with her lure, suddenly feeling a pool of tears stuck there. Do you realize that I have to now, right? Chiku murmured softly, dabbing your cheek with soft cotton pad. His eyes were hard, his jaw clenched as he cleaned your womb with the most delicate touches. The second he saw Win's face and his body started to shake with a rage that nobody ever seen before. Orders spurted from him, demanding to find the person who touched his lifeline. A faint smile pulled her lips, remembering how worried was he. The cookman almost hissed in warning. As much as she wanted him to do what his heart was telling her, she didn't want him to do something wrong at the same time. He was invisible person for her, and she can see look on his face, clearly indicating what he was planning in his head. He sighed heavily, and then leaned forward and all over near her. I'm sorry, baby. I want this for you. His hands was gently grazing her cheeks when stopped, and placing her hand on his with reassuring smile. It happened because it was supposed to happen, not like it happened for the first time. Jungkook, her voice broke in a deep knot, and Jungkook's heart clenched. He was already planning 1,000 ways through his dear mother-in-law, who have literally made one life miserable till now, and he was determined to teach her a very good lesson. Why didn't tell me about it before? All this was not something new for Wayne. It happens before. Her mother was a living psychopath who just loved herself and her money. But fortunately, Wen's life changed when she fell in love with Jungkook, and she decided to marry him against her parents' will. Though she was sure if she had lived in that house for a few more time, her mother must have waited till now, like she was planning yesterday. I thought it will end now because I'm already married and left her house, One replied sadly, her eyes slightly turning gloomy. Sunshine, if someone back 10 times harder or even no matter how the other person is, his jaw clenched. I didn't care that she's your mother or whatever. He muttered, staring Wan with those intoxicating brown eyes. As he took ointment on his finger and started to lather it on Wan's cheek and arms gently while blowing air in process. Wan's heart was warming up with his every action, which what have she done in her life to deserve a loving and caring husband like him? He was especially acting calm than the situation he saw her because knowing his overpossessive self, he must have do something till now. But she shrugs it, but only if she know her dear mother was in their basement. After taking a good smirk. You don't have heard of mothers envying their daughters unless think about your story practically she fits the description. From trying to push you into a relationship you clearly don't want. No more like you even knowing you're already married and your husband is. His jaw clenched on the words. One can tell he was trying to keep his calm. How so, and where was she? And even if by any chance she is, would it have anything relative to me? One muttered, thinking deeply. You see, you have everything she always wanted, he shrugs. So by hurting you, she can live her own practical life through you. But Jungkook cut it her off, continuing. For example, commenting on the way you looks and being disgusted of you and going against of you, implying and forcing you to do what she thinks is perfect for you, even though you don't like it. Every chance he got, wanting to this pretty little face of yours, his tone took a dark note. Again, you better hope I don't. Sunshine. Wait and well, living her life through me. One muttered deep in thoughts, and then her eyes widened, analyzing everything and all the incident happened in her life. Indeed, Jungkook was right. She was really envious of her own daughter. She guessed, putting her hand on her mouth. Rami's own daughter, Jungkook, she sobs out. The little girl inside her who always do everything to make her mother happy just to get appreciation from her. The mother completely broke after what she did and realizing her actions today. I'm here, baby. He pulled her in his. See, you have me and all of my love just for you, she nods. I know, and I love you more, Ku. I will never go to meet her again, I promise, she murmurs, hugging him dearly, and he smirks, completely satisfied of her words. The psychopath side of him was so happy because he didn't need to share her with anyone, and moreover, not like she would be able to meet her mother again anyways, because he was planning to all in one tonight. He snuggled in her closing his eyes as he leaves some gentle butterfly. That's like girl smirking evilly. Thanks for watching.